So, gentlemen, we are streaming live on YouTube right now. And so let us keep our, unless people wants to speak, firstly, kindly keep your microphones on mute. We will commence the program at 11:30 sharp. Dr. Rohit is there? Charyan? Rohit and Rohit?
Sir.
Rohit has a bit of a internet issue, so he had called up and said probably. Meanwhile, before we start, let me also remind you that this is a Golden Jubilee year, and the Golden Jubilee conference registrations are also open. So those who would like to register for the Delhi conference at the earlier rates, kindly do so. Also, our PG convention, for the attention of the postgraduates, the next PG convention registrations are also open. So kindly keep these two things in mind. Okay, Dr. Charyan, can we go ahead? Dr. Charyan, can we go ahead? It's 11:30.
Yes, please. We are live on YouTube also.
Yeah. So can you pin the speaker, Charyan? If it's possible. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to each and every one of you. And at the onset, let me wish you all a very, very, very happy New Year on behalf of the IPS Kerala State Branch President, Dr. Rohit Raghavan, and all the Executive Council members of the Indian Prosthodontic Society, Kerala State. Let me wish each and every one of you who is logged in from far and wide, not just the Kerala State members, but we have an audience across the country. So let me wish each and every one of you happy, safe, and vivacious New Year on behalf of all of us. Let me also, on behalf of the IPS Kerala State President, Dr. Rohit, who was unable to join in because of some internet issue, let me also welcome you to this Web Talk series, which the Kerala State branch has been hosting since the last few months. And today we have a young star speaker of our branch, Dr. Adarsh Verma, who will be speaking on an out-of-the-box topic called U 2.0, which reminded me of the Chitti, the famous Yendiran 2.0. So, it's a very interesting topic that Dr. Adarsh has come up with on the art of goal setting, which I'm sure will be of much interest to many of the postgraduates who have logged in, as well as, many of us older generation gentlemen also who need to set new goals in our life post-COVID. And he'll also talking about some interesting aspects which will be of benefit to all the postgraduates. So let me, at this juncture, welcome our speaker, Dr. Adarsh Verma, and all the Executive Council members of the IPS Kerala State Branch, all members who have logged in from across the country, and also all the postgraduate students who have logged in from far and wide. A big, warm welcome to the IPS Kerala Web Talk. Before we proceed forward, let me also very briefly try to introduce our speaker, Dr. Adarsh Verma. Friends, Dr. Adarsh Verma, other than our young star speaker for the day, other than being an enterprising young prosthodontist from the Untitled Dental College in Muatupura. He works as a senior lecturer at Untitled Dental College Department of Prosthodontics in Muatupura. He's a personal transformation coach and a motivational speaker. So that is an interesting, adjective to Dr. Adarsh's CV and profile. He's an eternal optimist, is what he says, who has a penchant towards aesthetic dentistry and research. He is fond of public speaking, which he still enjoys, even though he's married since a year. He still enjoys the public speaking, which I'm very interested and intrigued. Congratulations to you, Adarsh, and to his best half, Sajida Verma, for letting him speak publicly, even after 1 year after marriage. So it's fantastic. Dr. Adarsh, he completed his UG from the KMC, Dental College in Bangalore, and he went on to complete his MDS from the prestigious KLE VK Institute of Dental Sciences in Belgaum, where he completed his MDS as well as he completed a certificate course in oral implantology. Dr. Adarsh has a special interest in research, basically pertaining to bone and tissue engineering. Dr. Adarsh, is, like I said, has has presented various scientific presentations in various fora in Prosthodontics Society, as well as otherwise in the form of multiple poster presentations, table clinics, and has won best paper presentations in few of the conferences which he has attended. He's completed his residency training program at the KLE Dental College in Belgaum, and has a plethora of activities and targets which he have done under this during this residency program, which is very commendable. He has attended various certification and workshop programs, for example, the European Association of Osseointegration in Lisbon, and various national and international IPS conferences, a workshop on missing links in scientific writing at the Maratha Mandal Dental College and Research in Belgaum, etc., etc. He has been awarded, like I said, multiple awards for best paper and best poster during these conferences which he's attended. He is also very actively involved in the community service activities of his college as well as the associations he's part of. Additional information on his credentials: he's got great public speaking skills and has great passion towards public speaking. He has great passion towards teaching and love to be a mentor for young students and motivating them. He is a classically trained Carnatic instrumental musician, and his forte is the mridangam. And he's also a good singer, which most of us have experienced. His vocal skills. And he is also interested in philately. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Dr. Adarsh Verma. And Adarsh, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Very good morning and a happy new year to all of you all. And it's my pleasure and delight and much excited having gotten the opportunity to speak on this fantastic platform of IPS Kerala State. So straight away, going into the topic, U 2.0, the art of goal setting. Let me begin this topic with a great thought and a quote. See for the highest, aim for the highest, and you shall reach the highest. A great quote by Swami Vivekananda. As a prosthodontist, we have been taught the importance of balancing. Balancing the life's elements are equally important. Again, a great quote and a thought by our own Rupesh sir. Now, let me start off from here. To get the act of balancing in our lives, I've always believed that we have to thread it, or we have to thread our life with a goal and with a purpose. That is what is going to bring the balance, retention, stability, and support to all our lives. Yes. Now, before me going into the goal setting per se, let me start on a patriotic note. Now let's see where we are heading. It's not a patriotic slogan as such, but I'm going to give you a small statistics to work upon. Now, let's see the superpower, the so-called superpower United States. The average age of United States is nearly 40, where the so-called productivity giant, China, again, the average age, if you look at it, if the average age of China is again 40. The so-called techie giant of the world, Japan, the land of Kaizen, again, the average age is surpassed 45, it is indeed 47. But look at us. The average age is just 28. That really means we are a bunch of youthful, dynamic, impulsive, and a productive nation. And undoubtedly, this is the time, this is the crucial time where we have to throttle our country ahead. Now, not just dentistry, not just prosthodontics, name any field, may be technological field, may be automotives, may be medical care, may be dental care. This is the crucial time where we have to be at our maximum productivity, maximum dynamicity, because that is what is going to take our country to greater heights. So now, threading this particular analogy with our prosthodontics or our specialty, undoubtedly, this is the time to bring about the change. Or this has to be the best productive phase, and this is the time to change the phase and the face of our specialty and to throttle our country ahead. And that is exactly the reason why we all should strive to be at least 1% better every day, as and when the days progress by at least 1% of betterment, at least 1% of increased productivity pertaining to our specialty. So that is what is going to change the face. That is what is going to revolutionize our specialty. Yes. And also by doing that, we will be able to live up to the moral debts and the duty debts that we have been given with, because we have been given with an invaluable opportunity to add value into other people's life, because we are proud souls with proud profession on board. We are proud to be a prosthodontist. Yes, going ahead. In order to do that, as the great Aristotle told, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And also remember, if you keep doing what you've always done, you are going to get what you've always gotten. So now let's look at things that you all have to do so that you all can fly like eagles, my dear friends. Yes. Now, because sky is the only limit, to take you up to the heights, to imagine and to take you up to those levels where you are going to achieve huge speeds and you are going to achieve so many things in your life. What are the things that have to be done? Now, always remember one more thing. Winners don't do different things. Instead, they do things differently. Now, supply, let me thread this analogy again to the dentistry. Now, is there a supply or a demand which is more here? For example, I got a root canal treated from a dentist and I still continue to have pain on that particular tooth. Well, I am blessed with so many options out there. There are so many practitioners. There are so many dental clinics. There are so many practitioners around me. It's not about the demographic division, but then what is around me, what is there in our locality. Definitely, there is quite a lot of practitioners out there. Right. So obviously we have to look at it in a way that there is more supply than the demand. So down the line, you all are going to be an excellent academician. You all are going to be an excellent clinician, and you all are going to be a master at what you do down the line. But remember, still you all can go on and have a very average career because of the fact that most of the highly successful careers are built on how you express yourself. Now, when I tell express yourself, when I tell about the expression, this is what you have to live up to, the purpose or the goal that you have to set, how big you dream, the magnanimity of your dreams, the magnitude of your dreams, the magnitude of the goals that you're going to set, the magnitude up to which you want to raise up, the magnitude up to which you want to fly high, and the efficiency with which you take action. That is exactly the way you express yourself. That is exactly the importance of having goals in all of your lives. Now, as I told, there are different kinds of goals that you can set, depending upon one's thoughts and one's magnitude of how much he or she wants to move ahead. But we are not the ones who want to settle for mediocrity, right? So that is exactly why we have different types of goals that you can set. Add this classification along with your Kennedy's classification, my dear friends, because this is one for your life. I promise you that, because of the fact. Now, let me get into this. Type A goal. Now, type A goal is very simple. There is no rocket science. It's straightforward. If I am to relate this with a real life example, all of you all know how to pass your post graduation. Well, all of you all, if you're going straight into the clinical practice, you know how to set up your first clinic. And if you really want to go into academics, you know how to get a college job. The path is streamlined and path is transparent. There is no convolutions or there is nothing complicated in this. So basically, you know how to do it. Type B goals. Well, you think you can do it. With little more hard work and with little out of the box thoughts, you think you can achieve these goals. If I'm to tell you, think you can top in the batch of your postgraduates with a very healthy competition. And also, you think you can open up your second clinic or your third clinic. You think you can be one of the renowned practitioner in your locality, in your district, and you can be one of the celebrated dentists in your state with quite a lot of hard work and a bit of outside the box thoughts. You think you can achieve these goals. These are your type B goals. Well, the type C goal, you know what you want, but you don't know how to do it. Sounds a little crazy, right? And that's exactly what C stands for: craziness. These are the goals that you have to target, you have to live up to. Now, let me correlate this with few other real life examples or the ones who've achieved type C goals. The first picture, as you see, my dear friends, on the top left corner, they are the Wright brothers who invented aeroplane. Now, Wright brothers always wanted to fly an aeroplane, but then they didn't know how to do it. They kept on experimenting and experimenting, and they themselves have told once, by the twilight time, when they're returning their homes, they will have wounds all over their body because they used to crash land every day, at least for 5 to 6 times. So they experimented, and finally they succeeded in flying the first aeroplane. Same with Steve Jobs. He always wanted to invent a touchscreen phone, our fingers being the best stylus rather than any other stylus. So he went on experimenting and finally he did it, and then he could tell the world how he did it. Same as Wright brothers. After they made it, they could tell the world how they actually did it. Google, completely out of the box, the whole data in this white world combined into one single search engine of Google. These were crazy ideas. These were completely out of the box ideas and out of the box thoughts, right? So these were crazy ideas once, and when they did it, it became a hard celebrated reality. Now I'll tell you one more example. Marconi was out with his friends for one night dinner. So that time Marconi told his friends, I have this beautiful idea of transmitting information without any physical means. So all his friends were like, you're crazy. This is not going to work out. This is insane and absurd. So, but Marconi never gave up. Marconi went on with the research. Marconi went on with the idea. Marconi went on with the thoughts, and finally he emerged creating the radio. So these are fantastic ideas, which were crazy ideas once, and once it was done, it became a hard celebrated reality. The same thing. As Dr. APJ Sir told, those who dare to imagine the unimaginable is the one who breaks all the kinds of human limitation. Now, my dear friends, you all have to live up to the type C goal. You have to think out of the box. You have to think unimaginable. Now, it is your opportunity to revolutionize the field of prosthodontics. It is your opportunity to come with inventions, to come with patents, to come up with beautiful analogies, to come with novelties. If you want to build the best corporate dental chain the world has ever seen, go out there and build it. And then finally, you can tell the world how you actually did it. If you really want to build the best social service scheme, dental scheme the world has ever seen, go out there and build it. And then you can tell the world how you achieved the feat. Now, if you want to really go out there and invent your implant system, you go out there and do it. And then you can tell the world how you did it. You want to invent fantastic materials, contribute to the branches prosthodontics, go out there and do it. And then you can tell the world how you actually did it. So those are your type C goals. Those are the goals that you should be striving for. Those are the goals which you should be targeting for. Those are the goals that you should be going after. Because those are the ideas which are crazy but once you do that, unless you do that, once you do that, it becomes a hard celebrated reality. And that is what is going to give all of you a celebrity status. Yes, now I've talked so much about types of goals and type C goals and crazy ideas and out of the box thoughts and all of that. But you just cannot take a type C goal out of thin air, right? So now you've got to have a path towards your type C goal. And that is exactly a goal without a plan is just a wish. Now, in order to suffice our goals, in order to reach the goal, we should have something called as micro goals, all the small goals, your willingness to stand out, because most of the time it must be the smallest of the things which can create biggest of the changes. So now again, let me explain this analogy with a real life example. So that is MS Dhoni with 2007 T20 World Cup. So that was the first year in which T20 World Cup was held, and it was Dhoni's first campaign as a captain of Indian cricket team. Now it was such an inexperienced Indian team which represented the World Cup in South Africa. It had the likes of young Rohit Sharma. Dhoni himself was inexperienced. Then had the likes of RP Singh, our Srishant, Jogendra Sharma, all these people. So it was such a young yet a very exuberant Indian cricket team. So after the team won the World Cup, Dhoni was asked during the press conference, with this young Indian cricket team, how did you manage to win the World Cup? So Dhoni told something which was very striking. Now, what went right for us was the process of chunking down. What he meant was, he broke the whole tournament down into a few sets of matches. Then he broke it down into one match. Then he broke it down to a particular innings. Then he broke it down to each set of overs. Then he broke it down to each over, each run, each wicket, each boundary which is being played. So it is actually the process of chunking down and winning those moments which allow us to march ahead to our goals. So that is exactly the significance of micro goals. Now, again, when I tell micro goals, there is something that comes in between. Because all of us have unproductive habits, right? Or unproductive deeds. Now, for example, correlating it with my life, during my post-graduation, I used to return from the lab by around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So right after that, even before settling down, I used to open my phone, I used to scroll through Facebook, I used to scroll through Instagram and all of that. And 5 minutes went on to 10 minutes, 10 minutes went on to 15 minutes, 15, 20, and it just goes on like that, right? So whatever are your unproductive habits, you got to break it down. You have to cut it off. If not cutting off all of a sudden, if not enucleating all of a sudden, you have to taper it down. So in order to set your micro goals, you have to taper your unproductive habits. And let me remind you, friends, anything unproductive or any unproductive habits, you consciously or unconsciously do it for 14 to 21 days, that will get into your paradigm or pattern of doing things. You might do it unconsciously. You might not even be aware that you're doing that particular habit or you're doing that particular thing. And so much of time is being wasted on that. But if you're doing that habit for continuous 14 to 21 days, that will become a constant habit, which is very hard to cut off. And that will get into the paradigm or pattern of doing things. Because that is when your paradigm or pattern is being dictated by your unproductive deeds or your unproductive habits. So when that happens, what tends to happen? Your paradigm or pattern will have to settle for mediocrity. my performance is okay and I'm okay with that. You should never ever tell that, or you should never ever settle for mediocrity. So for that, you have to cut off your unproductive habits and you have to dictate your paradigm of doing things. Now, your micro goals can be anything. Your micro goals can be a particular case that you're working on, or a particular case that you really want to complete, or suppose, say, for example, a neutral sum complete tensure, or a full mouth case, anything for that sake, or a maxillofacial case. All of these forms your micro goal, because that is what is going to take you ahead to your big goal. So now you have to tell bye-bye to your unproductive habits, and then you have to welcome new sets of habits. And that is when your flight takes a different vector altogether. And that is exactly what we call as paradigm shift. Now, when the paradigm shift happens, your routine changes, the way you work changes, the way you look at things changes, everything takes a different flight altogether. You are offered a different purpose, you're offered a different goal, you're looking ahead at a bigger perspective in your life. So that is exactly what you have to live up to. Now, I have told about goal. I have also told about micro goal. Now, you tend to go down. Well, that happens with everyone. You know, you will have ups and downs, and you'll have distractions, and you'll have other so many. You know, your mind distracted or emotional disturbances and all that. You got to stay motivated, right? Motivation is something which requires your attention daily. So now, how do you stay motivated for all of this? There are many ways which works for you. You can implement, but I'm going to throw one small motivational source, which is going to give you a bulletproof motivation for you all to go out there and do things simply with the help of a picture board. Because the power and impact of pictures and sequences are more than what you can ever imagine. Now, a vision board or a picture board. Now, as I told before, your micro goal, if you are to complete these cases, take preoperative pictures of these cases, put it up on the vision board. Every time you see that, you will be self-motivated. You want to open up your first clinic right after PG, you take a blueprint of your clinic, take a print out, put it up on the vision board. Every time you see that, you will work towards it. My dear friends, you want to go to the type C goal. You have really seen where you really want to reach. Make a mental blueprint, give it a picture, give it a sequence, put it up on the vision board. Every time that you see those pictures and sequences in your vicinity, you will walk towards it. You will strive towards it, because that is what is going to give you bulletproof motivation to march ahead, to throttle ahead. So the impact, as we all know, the pictures and sequences, how that gets into our heart, that is the most powerful thing. Yes. Now, that is when you are so clear about where you're going, that is when you open your textbooks with a bigger purpose. You open it up with a bigger goal, and you open the textbooks with a bigger picture, not just for the fact because you have a seminar coming up, or you have a case discussion coming up, or maybe a Viva coming up, or maybe because a journal club coming up. When you open the textbooks with a bigger purpose, with a bigger goal, and with a type C goal that you have inside, that is when you create a difference. That is when you will march ahead. And that is exactly when you are going to achieve great things. And that is when, and also when you question what you read with the power of why, you will come up with beautiful analysis. You will come up with beautiful ideas. You will come up with beautiful novelties that you have never imagined that you will be able to do. And that is exactly the time that you will start to imagine. And that is when the textbooks will open up a whole new world for you. Because we all have imagined. We all have imagined in our childhood. We have drawn pictures. We have colored pictures. Do not allow the imagination to be rudimentary, because that is the greatest mental faculty that we have got, my dear friends. And also we can create and recreate anything with it. And when you develop, when you are in truth, or when you have started to imagine, then you got to engineer it. As Cherian sir always tells, thinking beyond the textbook, imagineering. Imagineering is the key word. You got to engineer the imagination. When thinking beyond the textbooks, when imagineering starts, that is when the creativity will start flowing in. That is when you come up with novelties. That is when you will come up with inventions. That is when you come with patencies. That is when you come up with your own materials, your own way of looking at the subject. And that is exactly, as I told at the beginning, when you're going to change the face of the specialty. But Now, all of this is okay. Now, you type C goal, micro goals, and reading and thinking. We always talk about the personal life and the balance between the personal life and the professional life, because all of us are so busy and preoccupied in the little 24 hours we have, right? So how do we keep the sanity going? And sanity obviously means your mental productivity and also the balance between your work life and your personal life, right? Sanity, obviously, which means the mental productivity or the balance. Now, the simple factors which I've observed in my life and others' life is wake up early morning. Wake up early morning at around 5:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30. You have more than 24 hours. I have never hurried in my life. When I wake up at like 5:30, I have time for everything. For most of the things, and also I have time to relax myself, free my mind, and get myself to work. So wake up early morning. You have more than 24 hours. Also, you gotta think about the mental composure before going into work, right? You gotta be in the right frame of mind. You gotta be happy. You gotta be fresh. So every day, practice gratefulness. Write down or try remembering things in your life which you are grateful about, because we all have been blessed with so many things in our life. Because as we say, gratitude is the best of the attitude. Write down or remember things which you are grateful about, because that brings an innate sense of happiness inside you. That refreshes you. There's so many blessings that we have in our life. Just think about it once in the morning. That allows you to be streamlined. Along with it, treat yourself in the morning with a tea or a coffee which you made for yourself, because that gives a small sense of pride early up in the morning, which allows you to go on and achieve the next thing in the morning, the next thing in the morning, and the next one to follow. Or a good video that you would like to see, or the pages of a book that you would love to read again, or a new book which you are excited about, or a good quote in the morning. All of these, when you practice, or complimenting someone around you, that really gets you going, get the other person also going. Now that brings that gives that feeling of happiness to you and also to the one around you. And also early morning breathing exercises early morning, that just allows all the tensions and all, if you're even if you're tensed about a case, or maybe dicey about something which is coming up uh, on that day, the breathing exercises and complimenting and these sort of small things, when you practice these things fetches happiness. This automatically sets in, and this allows your mind to be more and more productive. This frees your mind. This just allows you to be streamlined for the day, streamlined for the work, in order to deliver the best of your service. Also, now we saw about the physical, mental productivity. Now, what about physical productivity? Now, I would like to reframe this as 2 to 5 minutes goal. Now, any work, anything which takes only 2 to 5 minutes of your precious time, my dear friends, just do it off. Now, I will again tell one of my incident, what happened with me during my post graduation, first year PG. So the first national conference which I had to attend was in Chennai, and we were working on a short study of hydroxyapatite. So the thing is, my sir called me and he explained everything. And sir told me to register for IPS and then register for the conference, upload the abstract. So I was a little lacing around during that time. So then what happened was, I thought, okay, I'll do it next day. And then, okay, the next day I remember, I thought I'll do the very next day. So 2 days went by, 4 days went by, 1 week went past, 2 weeks went past, I completely forgot about it. So then one fine day, sir calls me up and asks, okay, you have registered, when is his slot? And is your poster ready? Then I remember I haven't even registered for IPS. So then I started to panic. And I sat down with all the tension and with all the anxieties that I have. I was on the brink and I sat down with the laptop. For some reason, the net was not connecting. It got off in between. Something happened with the registration. Then I had to make phone calls, and then finally I had to set it up. 5 minutes thing. It took me nearly 45 minutes. So anything that you want to do, or anything which takes only 2 to 5 minutes of your time, finish it off. And I still remember for that conference, for my poster presentation, Shyamohan sir was my judge. Yes, so So exactly. So 2 to 5 minutes goal, that anything which you can complete or finish it off, just finish it off, just do it off. Along with that, knowing technology, automate things whichever possible, whichever things are possible. Joe sir is the best example I can quote. Sir uses reminders, manages password, it's complete techie person, because these makes our process very simple. Use calendar apps, reminders, manage passwords. So resourcefulness, knowing what have to be applied where, and automating things is very simple these days. So you knowing technology, put reminders, put manage passwords, schedule it according to the calendar, schedule your appointments according to the calendar apps. This will get you going. This will ease your workload. This will ease your anxiety, your stress up to a very good extent. And also, obviously, take breaks to regroup and recoup so that you can get back with double the efficiency that you're already working with. Now, that is exactly what. Strive for at least 1% better every day and beat yourself with what you did on the previous day. At least 1% better than what you were on your previous day. Now, also, I would like to touch upon a few other things which you should be taking care of when you are going ahead. Self-awareness that you have, body language, the body language that you have, the demon or that you are following, the communication skill that you have to be professional. It has to be non-dramatic. It has to be pleasant. And my dear friends, you have to be a fantastic storyteller, because there is no one in this whole wide world who doesn't like to listen to stories, right? Every day, practice just 2 minutes narrating an incident or a story which you would like to tell to your friend. Now, if not your friend, if your friends are occupied, if your friends are busy, stand in front of the mirror, narrate a small story for yourself, a small incident which has happened in your life for yourself, an incident which you like to remember, an incident which you like to share, narrate it for yourself, because that is going to have a profound impact on the way you communicate, the way you express yourself, the way you put up the treatment plans, the way you convince your patients. And that brings, or that you will start to express in such a way that others will build trust in you.
Others, I think the volume is not up.
Others, you have to remove your earphones.
Okay, sir.
Unplug the earphones. Then only others can listen.
Not from your ear, from the computer.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll disconnect. So what I told was heard by everyone?
Yes, that was only your videos. That you have to remove your earphone connection.
Okay, sir. Okay, one second.
Others just play that video slide. That's all. Now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
People tend to think that it's only a financial cost decision. But I'll suggest to you that it's actually not the case. In a study from the University of British Columbia, patients who had been suffering wearing their dentures were recruited to a study where they were randomized into one of two groups. One group was to receive brand new dentures. The other group was going to get state-of-the-art implant retained dentures. And both groups were going to receive their care for free. After being randomized to the group that was to get the implant dentures for free, over 30% of those patients immediately withdrew from the study. When asked why did you pull away from a study where you were about to get free implant dentures, the most common reason was a fear of surgery. The financial cost was not an issue at all.
Sir, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, as the video went on, I understand a financial cost is an issue in our country. I completely understand. But now, once you cement the way you communicate yourself, the way you cement your communication skills, I am very sure that the way you convince more patients will agree to the treatment plans that you're putting ahead. More patients will agree upon the treatments that you're going to put forth in front of them. So that is the importance of self-awareness and also the practice of communication skill. Be a fantastic storyteller, communicate in such a way that they are going to get convinced for your treatment plans, for your treatment that you are going to offer. Yes. Now moving ahead, this the efficiency of your communication skill, your self-awareness, that is what is going to make their path easier. That is what is going to make their path more fascinating. That is what is going to make their path fearless, and that is what is going to make them come back to you happily again and again. Yes. And how many of you, my dear friends, have a business page? It is 5G already. You have to start branding yourself. Yes, you got to open a business page on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. You have to showcase your cases. You have to put up stories and statuses related to your subjects and cases. You think, my dear friends, it's too early. I'm telling you, it's too late. So build a brand for yourself. That is again what is going to take you a very, very, very long way. So branding in this era is very, very important. So all of you all have to open a business page. Those of you doing fantastic. So open up a business page, showcase about what you're doing, and make them realize, find your target audience and interact with them and make them realize that you are coming big time for their service, and a brand whom they can put their trust and life on. So branding, I'll again tell you an example. Branding, obviously, positioning yourself in the market. KJ Yeshudas and Kishore Kumar were awesome singers, no doubt. But obviously, there were better singers than them. But since they could position themselves in the market, they could brand themselves, they could get into the market, they could position really well in the market, they went on to become huge success stories. Likewise, you have to position yourself in the market with the help of branding and with the help of so many social media tools that we have at present. Also, along with this, branding and relationship management, public relations goes hand in hand. Create true fan bases, because true fans are the ones who are going to create a base for you. Now, I'm telling you, even the patients that you're doing throughout your curriculum of post graduation, they are going to come and they are going to build a true fan basis for you. They are going to recommend you. They are going to praise you for a very good work, and they are going to give constructive criticisms. So now be in the circuit, be in the public relations, be in the circuit, be in the connect, be with your colleagues, and be in the chain, and be along with the other people, and maintain the relationship, maintain the relationships. And always remember, till the time your brand is established in the market, your public relations are always and always going to be your personal relations. As Bill Gates told, if I was down to my last dollar, I would spend it on public relations. And also, there are two sorts of doctors, those who practice with their brains and those who practice with their tongues. And now we have to be both, we have to do both of it in an ethical way. You have to do both of it ethically. So you have to be a fantastic communicator. At the same time, you got to deliver fantastic treatments. You're going to add value with the treatment plans and with the analogies that you have with your specialty. And empathy and compassion, never ever use it as a tool and it should be coming from within. Well, this is not something that has to be taught, and just reinforcing, just a reinforcer of this. As the saying goes, they might forget what you did, they might even forget what you all said, but they will never ever forget what you made them feel. And that is exactly what Dr. Pankey once told. I never saw a tooth walk into my practice. Always my first job in every consultation is to build the relationship with my patient, and a drill, fill, bill, dentist will just be where they practice. Now, You choose dentistry or dentistry choose you. Either ways, it does not matter. You might find dentistry very similar wherever you go, but the difference is how you do it. As I told in the beginning, winners don't do different things. They always and always do things on a different note, on a different scale, with a difference, on a different with a different purpose. So look up, look ahead, and start doing things differently, my dear friends. And always remember, hero is always a giver, never ever a taker. This is a small video, a celebrity praising a superstar dentist.
Hey Doc, how are you doing? It's been long, I miss you. Have you ever heard any person saying that he misses his dentist? It's credit to this person here who looks exactly like the way he is in person, because he is entertaining, he's funny, he is amazing at what he does, and I need to thank him for years and years of work that he has done on me, on my teeth. Man, this guy is he's more than a dentist. He's innovative. He has handled problems that I've had in my mouth in ways that you won't even believe. So a big thank you to Dr. Michael. And I'm going to read this book because I'm sure it's as funny and entertaining as he is, and as loving and sincere and honest. And, when you're with him, you really feel assured that, you're in good hands. And I used to be very afraid of going to the dentist. Used to, until I met Dr. Michael. Because, when you're with him, you just know for certain that it's going to go absolutely pain-free. I have never really actually remember feeling pain when he has worked on my teeth. How incredible is that? So once again, congratulations for this book, Doc, and I will see you at the function. I will try my best to be there, and I also need to fix another appointment really soon, just because I miss you. Nothing to do with my teeth. I'll see you. Bye-bye.
As it goes, always be more than a dentist. You 2.0. Thank you, everyone. And any mental block pertaining to anything, always you can approach. Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Adarsh. Am I audible? Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Adarsh, and Happy New Year, dear all. Good morning, and we have been listening to The Art of Goal Setting by Dr. Adarsh Verma. And on behalf of Indian Prosthodontic Society, Kerala State Branch, I thank Dr. Adarsh for giving such a wonderful talk. And this will prove to be a new impetus in this new year, and hope all of the attendees benefited with this. With the permission of the speaker, may I go to a few questions we have here? Adarsh, Dr. Adarsh, can I?
Sure, please go ahead.
Yes, we have a question from YouTube by Dr. Neeti Solangi. She was very impressed with the comment that any activity done for a certain period of time becomes a habit. Yes, it's true. And she's asking, how do we get ourselves to start a particular habit without finding excuses?
Without finding?
Excuses.
Sorry?
Excuses.
Excuses. Okay, can you be a little more clear on that? Without finding excuses?
Maybe because I think this is related with yet another question, that how to self-analyze oneself before setting a goal.
Okay. This has something to do. This has something to do with the subconscious mind programming, because now you have to introspect. You have to keep on talking to yourself as much as possible. So then you come up with an answer, or then you come up with something which you really want to do, like, or a habit which you really want to develop, because this is possible with certain amount of time by self-introspection and self-analysis. So that is when you really get into what you really want to do. It is not something which comes overnight, which I believe is that way, because a bit of talking. As I would again like to quote what Swami Vivekananda once told. You have to speak to yourself at least once in a day, else you might meet missing one of the excellent persons in this world. So the same way, you got to talk to yourself, introspect, and then finally come up with things that you want to do, and also cut down the other habits. So it is a process of tapering down. You cannot just cut off the things that you've been doing all of a sudden overnight. So you can taper it, and then you can slowly streamline yourself.
Others, let me.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, others, since you said about this goal setting by talking to yourself, I have a small bit of an advice to Neeti also.
Sure, sir.
Because I was trying to do this particular exercise of convincing myself and talking to myself and doing this, and the next day my wife told me, it looks like you need to see a psychiatrist. When I was trying to talk to myself. So Neeti, when you talk to yourself, do it behind closed doors, okay? Or you will be taken to the shrink.
So the self-talks can be done without using the body language also most of the time. Like
you can talk to yourself, without using voice, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can speak in your mind too.
Yes,
you can self-motivate and.
That's very important. I wonder what your wife heard you talking now. That is what would have prompted her to ask you to go to the psychiatrist.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Veena.
Yes, I think those were the questions we got. And yes, Dr. Adarsh, before winding up, do we have any other questions from the live attendance?
Dr. Rupesh, I would like to ask him a question.
Please, President sir.
Dr. Adarsh.
Yes, sir.
What is correlation between passion and success?
So passion is something which drives you, and passion can be threaded towards the purpose that you have in your life. Now, once you are into the correct passion, obviously you will have the soul satisfaction. The satisfaction of the soul is what really success in non-materialistic terms means. That is how I perceive it. Like success in the life is actually brought about by what we actually want to do. So, and obviously when you're doing what you really love to do, you won't even know you're working hard. So
passion is really important.
So very important. Very important.
Passion for gold. Others, I also want to ask you a question about branding. You told us about branding yourself. My wife has already branded me that I'm a very lazy husband. So branding can be, in a
positive way, sir.
So when you say branding, people can brand you in a negative way too. Yes, your competitors can brand you in a negative way. Yes. So when you said branding in a general term, I basically was thinking of the other side of branding. So it is important. It is important for us that we build our defense against negative branding also. So so that is something which I need to tell you. Others, could you very quickly tell people about time management? I don't know whether you spoke. Most of the time, when you ask your postgraduates, and I'm sure quite a few postgraduates are listening. One of the major excuses which most of the HODs will tell you is that probably they'll tell you, "Sir, I didn't have time." When you ask for any kind of a task that had to be completed, etc. Most of the time, the excuses, one of the excuses, I also tell my wife the same thing. Time is an excuse which all husbands tell a wife. You're too busy. I don't have time. Is an excuse. So how do you manage this time? For the benefit, very quickly, very short, if
you allow me, I'll just put a joinder to your question. I was actually coming up with that question. Today, in this world of information overload, I take this word from Dr. Chandrasekhar Nair, which he spoke of about 10 years back. Okay, information overload. Students find it so difficult to actually plan and execute, identify what they should do and how they should execute it. You are from the generation which is closer to the students whom we see now. So what would you suggest for them to actually utilize time properly, time management?
So now, if you're looking at a broader side of it, so all those who have achieved great feats in life, like maybe dentistry, maybe any other field, all of them had only 24 hours. So, sir, now when I'm starting with that, so like in my life, in the short life that I have lived so far, the first thing, waking up in the morning. Now, when you wake up in the morning, I've never found this insufficient time for anything that has to be done. Second thing, sir, you have to know the resourcefulness, like what all resources, what all gadgets, and as it all, sir, information overload. So automate things which are possible, automate everything possible. So the all of these cuts down the time that you're going to spend on unnecessary things. And also, sir, like these are small things which I believe had made a very significant impact in my life. Like small things are the ones later on which used to consume like 2 to 5 minutes will end up consuming 50 minutes or 45 minutes, or for that sake. And also, sir, planning your appointments, planning your patients, and scheduling it according to the dates. That makes, because when the clinic started, say in my post graduation, when the clinic started, when I was overloaded with patients, I was not able to cope up with it. And finally, when I got into the track of managing the patients along with the calendar apps, then I found it very, very, very easy. So once it gets streamlined into doing things and planning things, or maybe planning a month ahead or planning 2 weeks ahead, then it simplifies things to a very good extent. So then you'll have your time to prepare for seminars, journal clubs, and all what is to follow.
So basically, all postgraduates should keep a diary. Correct? A diary
Yes, sir. Yes,
is
sir.
what
Surely,
we try to
surely.
tell them. They should have a diary. They should write down.
Yes, sir.
Before they go to the college, they should plan that day's activity in their mind. Is there any, probably that way. That is another way of.
So
No,
instead, like,
others. I
yes,
also was very interested in when you said people who are doing public speaking about storytelling. Storytelling is one way of attracting an audience, but the story has to be connected to what
yes,
they're
sir.
talking.
Definitely, yes.
Unlike we, most of the husbands, we tell stories which are totally non-connected to an alibi which we are creating. So that is when we get caught by the wives. So one important thing is the story which you are creating has to be connected to the topic, or yeah.
You've got tremendous experience.
Yeah, you're talking about osseointegration. People will mistake. You're talking about osseointegration and you tell Ramayana story. It's not. Yeah.
My
Also,
challenge, as I see among postgraduate students now, is that they spend most of their time in front of laptops, yeah, rather than doing hands-on work. There is so much of migration from core prosthodontics to it. We are living in a digital world. You have access to journals, seminars, and YouTube videos, hands-on skill improvement avenues, and all. It's all there. But then I see they are becoming less of prosthodontists and more of the digital people. So
Sir,
what do you have to say for that?
yes, sir, one more thing I would like to add. Like a majority or a chunk of all of our time goes into the fake happiness that we get from social media. Even I use it, but then I try to taper it down. So, sir, the influence, the chunk of the time which we waste in social media apps and all of that. So, if we can control and if we can taper the time that we spent on unnecessary recreational activities, that also adds to it, adds to the time management.
That is a bigger addiction than other addictions that we were kind of exposed to and used to during our college days. So how do we get out of it?
So you have to taper it down. So you have to reduce the time span that you're spending upon it. Suppose, for example, if I'm using Instagram for say average 2.5 hours in a day, cut it down to 2 hours, then 1 hour, then half an hour. So reduce the frequency and also the time period of it.
Okay, others that really was a very interesting and out of the box topic.
Others,
sure.
I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, yeah. I was thinking.
Others, this waking up early is a big problem for me. So you say that there are two kinds of people in this world: the owl kind and the lark kind, isn't it? One who wakes up very late and one who wakes up very early. The owl kind of people and the lark kind of people, right?
Yes.
So waking up early is not my cup of tea at all. So you say that the owl kind will find less time, or the lark kinds are going to succeed in life?
No, sir, no. Like about the success, it's not, sir. Like it is said to be we are more effective or we are more efficient when we wake up in the early morning. Like sir, if we can correlate that to the so-called Saraswati Yama and all of that, so we are little more fresh and efficient when we wake up early morning. That is the only thing, sir. And so
what about the owl kind then? Those people have these
no,
graveyard shifts and all
there's
that.
nothing like even if you're staying up through the night and working, definitely. So Elon Musk have told, like, I have worked throughout the night. So his success, and there are so many other successful people who have worked throughout the night. So there's nothing wrong in it. There's no less of success for those people. But then, so from the conduct of other successful people, I've just etched it. That's all, sir. Nothing else.
In schools also, I think this problem is that always the school, emphasis on wake up early, work up early. Like, so my daughter is also again the owl kind. She's in, it's really absurd, why the school is emphasizing waking up early. So that was another concern here.
Only these things are like the scientific studies also have proven up to a very good extent that when you wake up and when you do your work early morning, that brings little more of efficiency to us. That is the whole rationale, so why I told that.
Okay.
Any postgraduates who have joined here on Zoom?
Dr. Adarsh, I want to ask just one single question.
Sure, sir. Go ahead, sir. Please.
What is your take on quality, productivity, and multitasking?
Okay, sir. So now from the little life I've learned how well you do multitasking is the way you can march ahead. So you got to ensure quality multitasking. So you can't concentrate on, you can't just have one string running inside your head throughout, because that won't take you so long. So it's multitasking with quality. So I think, sir, it will have to come with time. Once you start practicing it, once you start practicing towards it, it will come in time where you don't even expect that you have risen to those quality, and also you're performing different tasks at the same time. So, sir, basically it's about what my take is multitasking along with quality assurance.
Okay, Adarsh. Many times I feel the multitasking we are forced to do, no?
Yes, sir.
Because
yes,
then we can call this multitasking now, because we can't escape from such situations. So we are forced to do multiple things, then we have to do, no? Okay,
ladies are experts in multitasking. From you, we'll not take it.
That's why exactly I put that question.
For me, when I do multitasking, I lose quality in everything that I do. So for me, it is very difficult. Personal take. I focus on one small thing, whatever small thing I do, I am glued and focused onto that. So doing too many things at the same time, quality is lost in everything. That's what I felt.
Sir,
but we know.
Yes, ma'am. Go on, please.
But we know many times we can't say no, no. Then we are forced to do. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Yeah, you should know to say no.
But for a postgraduate, I think multitasking may not be an effective media. Yes. I think they need to focus. As far as postgraduates are concerned, probably they need to focus like what Vinod said. Otherwise, the quality per se probably is.
So one more small thing I would like to add. So when it comes to multitasking, also focus on the present, but then you will have other channels running too. So like sacrificing the present and doing the multitasking obviously decreases the quality. So,
any postgraduates here who have logged in here would like to ask any questions? Any of the postgraduates? I can see a lot of Dr. Palak. Dr. Palak, do you want to ask others anything?
Okay. Hello, sir. Sir, we have a lot of tasks that are piled up. Like we always think that we'll do it tomorrow, and then the new year have come. So how do we cope up with that?
Okay. So what about New Year? New Year is the time you should be working more, right?
Yes, sir.
New Year is the time that you should be working more. A new year, so it opens up. So you should be working more, right?
Yes, sir. So my doubt was, how do we cope up with the tasks that have piled up?
So you have to break it down. You have to break it down and you have to automate it with the help of the dates that are coming. You write it down. First of all, you have so many work. Just make a schedule. Make a flow chart. What has to be done first? What has to be done second? What has to be dealt with the third time, or for next instance. So prioritize your work and then write it down, and accordingly you can finish it off. Now, as Sir told, multitasking always for postgraduates is not an ideal thing. So prioritize and then deal with the works that you have.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So, Adarsh, thank you. I think your talk would have created a lot of buzz and interest among most all the postgraduates and all your audience who have logged in. And all the postgraduates who logged in, kindly inform your friends and postgraduate friends that the YouTube channel will be running this particular presentation for a long time, so they can log in and watch it at any given point of time. Let me also take this opportunity on behalf of our president, Dr. Rohit, also to inform you that this is our Golden Jubilee year, and Jan 22nd is the Prosthodontics Day. So kindly, plan and work towards getting our Prosthodontics Day, your programs and schedules for that particular event. Start planning right away so that we can have a fantastic event in your institutions, in your clinics, or your colleges, or your department. So kindly do that. And let me request our president, Dr. Rohit Raghavan, to hand over a certificate. Dr. Cherian, can we project the certificate, please? Dr. Rohit, kindly hand over the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Adarsh. Rohit?
Yeah. So, Dr. Adarsh, first and foremost, on my personal behalf and behalf of the Indian Prosthodontic Society Kerala State Chapter, I would like to thank you for the wonderful motivational speech you have given today.
Thank you, sir.
It was really very informative, and I'm sure that most of the postgraduates who have been attending this would have benefited from it. So, as a token of our appreciation, kindly accept this certificate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rohit. May I now invite our President-elect IPS Kerala, Dr. Cherian, and the CD convener of the IPS Kerala State Branch, Dr. Cherian, to propose a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you. Good afternoon and a happy new year. Let's thank God Almighty for getting us through the last year, and we hope that 2022 will hold better avenues of hope and success for all of us. In that front, I would like to thank our speaker for the day, Dr. Adarsh Verma, my friend and colleague, for delivering such a wonderful motivational guideline for the year to all of us, and doing it in a fabulous way. Thank you, Adarsh. I would like to thank our president, Dr. Rohit Raghavan, our secretary, Dr. Rupesh, our editor, Dr. Prashant, our treasurer, Dr. Tony, and all our EC members for taking Kerala State forward through a series of web talk events, which is going a little away from education and concentrating more on building a person in total. So a more of a holistic sort of series rather than an educational one, which will always concentrate on education also, but this is slightly different, and I hope your presence and your support will be there for all our future events too. And I thank all the participants who have taken the time out to be with us today. Thank you very much, and thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Cherian. Let me also tell each and every one of you that we will come up with more such innovative topics in the times to come in the near future. May I request Dr. Rohit Raghavan, our president, to kindly close this meeting. Rohit, you can close the meeting. Rohit. Rohit, can you hear me?
No, it's not clear. I'm sorry. It's not
No,
audible.
no, I said you can now close the meeting. You can officially close the meeting.
Okay, first and foremost, wishing everyone a happy new year. And as a president of the Indian Prosthodontic Society Kerala State Chapter, I hereby declare this webinar closed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.